right. Hello. Good Sunday morning. So it's been a good morning here, and I actually have some time for streaming, so that's nice. And I'm like super pumped to work on these preview things. So let's do that. So yesterday we talked about how there's some complexity around how like the environment loads, because traditionally the environment kind of loads through the preview, but with VMs it doesn't load through preview. So we went in and we added some new loading states. So there's an actual preview status and then there's an environment status, and they're basically the same, but we now have like a generic approach to waiting for the environment to start, and for certain environments they immediately start, but the preview is going to have a loading state. But then for other environments it could be completely the opposite, but it doesn't matter, it's completely generic, so that's good. And the other thing we talked about is how we don't actually want to initialize the preview with what song is this? With an iframe. But I'm still unsure about that. It's almost like, why do we want to pass in an iframe when we can rather create a preview and we can get the iframe out of it? But the problem with React is that then we will kind of have to manually append that iframe. I can append a DOM element manually. I guess we just have to like have an ID reference to a wrapper and then just append it on a use effect, but it's kind of, yeah. But I wonder if there's a especially with the Lexington where you might want to spend. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you have a container ref and then you just append it. Yeah, I wonder if that's a better approach. Like, why would you want to manually pass in an iframe? Because it simplifies the API as well. Yeah, I think we're going to try that approach instead. Yeah, okay. So we're going to keep, where's the types? Oh, sorry. So we have Sandpack preview, create preview. We're not going to pass in the iframe. What we're rather going to do is we're just going to create it. And then this also makes a bit more sense, I think, because now, yeah, we're not leaking in this weird behavior of static preview. Okay, cool. Are we missing something here? Oh yeah, we need to implement the actual status changes. Ugh. Okay, but then we need to be able to, there needs to be more to this public interface. We need to be able to get the iframe. So we're gonna do that. And then we need to implement these status things. So the actual static Sandpack preview needs to have a status of Sandpack preview status, which starts in current loading. Why are you complaining? Oh, progress. Yeah, and then there's another aspect of this, and that is whenever the progress, what's it called? increases, like we're adding new messages to the progress, what do we do? Do we ensure that this is immutable? So we kind of replace the status every time. And I think we should do that. That's fine. But you can't trust that in React, right? That, like, especially an object-oriented based third party actually honors immutability or honors the ability to do value comparison. Because here we can like just push to progress, right? And trigger the event. But the problem is that if we do that, that new status like has the same reference. So if you would use it in React, you would have a problem. So, but I think we're just gonna state that, that we're actually gonna replace the full status. And then we have iframe message subscribers, and then we have status subscribers, which is a new set of status, Sandpack, preview status, and then we have, because we had on message here, we're gonna have on status change. Cool. And then we're gonna explore. Oh yeah, and now we're missing like the yeah, exactly. It would be amazing if React could just, yeah. It would be amazing indeed. But yeah, maybe someone will try that. Let's see. Okay, so we also need a status here. So let's say Sandpack environment status, which would then also current loading progress. And this is also, so this is gonna update based on maybe different things. And then create preview. Ja. Nei, nå kan du kle på deg og gå ut med mamma. Å, det blir så godt for deg. Se. Du har det så godt ut. Anyways, so let's add status subscribers, new set. Status, Sandpack environment status. Okay, so now we have a way to get the current status and subscribe to status updates, which is nice for React. And what's kind of nice, we can have like these hooks that Hæ? Men jeg trodde du skulle ut med mamma, ja. Ja. Ja, men du skal ut med mamma da. Er det det? Ja da. Men du må holde knappen inne da for å skru på. Let's see. Yeah, so we can have hooks that makes this status like sync with React by just having a hook that exposes the status and subscribes to on status change. Really, using external store is the right way to do that. But okay, so now we have that in place. So what are we missing? Yes, so this of course needs to be able to grab the status of, so we're gonna do a get status on this. So that, and we're doing this because we want to control, and then we have on status change. And then because it's, this kind of sucks. Oh, what? Oh yeah, sorry. Subscriber. Because we're using object oriented, we have to like take into account the this reference. Oh yeah, and we need to be able to get the iframe. Static preview iframe. Oh, sorry, not return iframe. Well, I guess that could be, this can just be iframe. Cool. So now we have our public interface. Okay, so we should be better suited now for actually making this thing work. So let's take another look at our preview. So we need to adjust this iframe thing. So we're gonna do, okay, we're gonna prepend the iframe, I guess. So we need, let's see. Yes, we're not gonna have like preview state anymore. We're actually gonna have, we're not gonna have an iframe ref, we're gonna have iframe container ref instead, HTML div element, and then we're gonna have a preview ref. Jo, men de lå jo der, men jeg orker ikke å sitte her og krangle med han. Nei, men du skal jo ta med han ut. Ja, men jeg heller opp å prøve, men han vil jo ned til deg og vil game bare, og hvis kontrollen ligger der, så setter jeg. Nei, men den ligger jo ikke der. Jeg tok den jo ned til han, for jeg orker ikke å krangle med han. What's this thing? Sandpack preview ref? Oh. Nei, August. Det er så mye krangling om de ungene og få de ut døra. Yeah, this stream is a mix of like actual like engineering coding content, and it feels like a family soap opera. Let's see. God påske, I guess. Let's see. We need to have the Sandpack env. So this is gonna be. We're not gonna have this one anymore. We're gonna have Sandpack preview, and we're not gonna have this thing, but we're only gonna say if we don't have preview ref.current, we're gonna set preview. I guess this is the most efficient way of like instantiating something as you. This is a huge problem with with React is instantiating something as you reconcile, or like on the first render. I have to do null. But now, does it... Ah, does it still say null? No. Cool. Okay, so we're gonna create this preview. And then what we need to do is we have iframe container ref. And then we're gonna do a use layout effect. So instead of this thing, we're gonna do a React use layout effect. And that's gonna actually prepend if iframe container ref. Let's see, iframe container ref current prepend the iframe. Oh, and now it says it's possibly null. Fine. Okay, so this is how we add the iframe now, but we also had some things we added to that iframe. And one of them is actually changing the style of it. So we're gonna just remove this thing. And then on the first layout effect, we're actually gonna add some of this stuff. So class names, and then this style, we're gonna change this on every iframe dot title, iframe dot class name. So we're gonna do this instead, and then we're gonna have a use layout effect for whenever we change that other thing, iframe computed height. And then we're gonna do the same thing if preview ref current. We're gonna do preview ref current iframe and set the height of it like so. I guess this is supposed to be pixels. Yeah, and plus pixels. Oh, there we go. And what are you complaining about? It was used before it was defined. Oh, sorry. Yeah, and then class names, let's move that up here as well. Yeah, and I'm not sure if we really want to like set the URL directly here. We rather want to expose a method to set the... But one thing that I dislike is that we... okay, I think we're gonna const preview equals preview ref dot current, because this is always defined now, right? Yeah, exactly. And then we can just point to preview instead. Preview. Oh, what did I do? Preview. We don't have to check this. can do this instead. Okay, and here we can say preview dot like I think we should rather say something like, well, I guess for now we can just do preview iframe source. Let's just do that for now. Ja? Hæ? Ja, vi skal ikke dit enda, men du kan ta en tur ut med mamma. Ja, eller klokka 1 skal vi dit. Okay, we don't pass that state anymore. And now we have this refresh. So now we rather have, okay. So the question now is, we're gonna have this preview status. So let's try to just use that here first, where we're gonna do, let's see. So we can't set the status unless we have, yeah, it's almost like I just want to go and grab the, I want to set the preview first. I really dislike this. Well, what we can do instead, yeah. So I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna create a new hook, which is gonna be called use preview. Use preview, TS. And the thing is that I really dislike with React is like, when I say use preview, what does that even mean? Like in the sense that, are we creating a preview? And we are, but it's in the context of like a component. So if I use this hook in multiple components, we're going to create a new preview for every single one of them. And it's so not obvious. Let's see. So we can have Samp, I guess. Oh, use class names. Use environment, I guess. Why is, oh. We don't need this iframe container ref. Yeah, no, and not this, like, not this stuff. The only thing we really want to do is return, we want to return two things. We want to return, and this is something I don't like either. It's like, you need so many level of abstractions, because now we need, the status needs to cause a reconciliation, right? But we also have the status on the actual preview, but that's not like, and then I can do this hack where, okay, we're gonna have an internal status that's just gonna cause reconciliation, but I'm still gonna just use preview.status, but that also wrecks your brain, right? But if I have a separate status, I still want to return the actual preview, but then I have preview status here. And then, but which one of them should I use? And it doesn't actually matter which one I use. So it's like, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Like React integrates so badly with object-oriented. I guess it's no different if you want to have, I guess I shouldn't blame React there. It's like if you want to integrate with any anything that's not like with anything that's not like, even with signals and stuff, you would have to create like signals, like there's no observable thing. So you have to create that abstraction here. Yeah, so I think what we rather want to do, I think we're gonna just return the preview. Sorry, preview ref current. But we're actually gonna have using external store. And this is gonna do preview ref current dot on status change. And then we're gonna return yeah, this has to be like this. Update. Where are you? Oh, and now it might be null. Oof. Preview. Yeah, every time this just doesn't feel right. So this is going to keep the thing in sync, because every time the status changes, it's going to return a new status object, because we made sure of that. And then we just point to the preview. Okay, we're just going to try this for now, and then... So instead of having this, we're just going to say preview is use preview. So now we have the actual preview here. And we still have our like environment stuff and so on to compute the thing. And then navigator should take the actual preview. And then we have, now we can check status current equals ready. And then we can say preview refresh. Loading overlay. I think this also needs the preview. Okay, cool. So let's jump quickly into navigator. And this is not going to be preview state. It's just going to be Sandpack preview. Import. Sandpack preview. And now we can look, sorry, status current equals ready. I'm going to do preview on message, preview dot status. Why are you complaining? Oh. Yeah, and this is the thing, right? Because we're not actually changing the preview. We're only changing the status. So this is like, you have to really know how these references change. Yeah, so here we can now, we don't need these checks. We can just, yeah, and we don't actually care about it here either, if it's ready or not. We're just going to subscribe to it. That's the nice thing now. We can simplify this a little bit more. And then we have preview. So I think this is better at least. Cool. Nice. So I think this is pretty good now. And then with the loading overlay, this one's a bit tricky. So yeah, we're not gonna have this client ID. External loading states. Interesting. So we're not gonna have any loading overlay props. Yeah, so we're rather gonna give it a preview here. I kind of dislike how we need to like do as Sandpack env. I think we're gonna create some namespaces for the types instead. Sandpack preview. And then we're gonna have preview here. Oops, preview. And then use Sandpack preview progress. We're gonna pass in the preview. And again, preview. And then we can have, yeah, this one's interesting. Oh, restart, I can try again. Okay. Yeah, but I guess we can use the environment there. Oh, but that's interesting. So we can always have a restart, I think. Let's fix that immediately. Because now the restart was optional, but restart can mean refreshing the iframes. Tricky thing is that now it's like related to a specific iframe, but I think we can just refresh all iframes. Or it depends on the environment, how it wants to restart. Okay, so we really need to implement that, but at least from let's see, where were we? Loading overlay. So here we can use the environment and use the environment. So m.restart should show. Yeah, so we were talking about, I don't think it makes sense to, we're not gonna have any shell stuff here. Because we should rather make any shell output that should just be progress in this context. So we rather have to look at, I guess this is related to Notebox, because Notebox has a shell where it outputs certain things as it's loading. So we'll see how we're gonna deal with that. To do Notebox should rather put progress messages in the status of the preview. Yeah, so we're just gonna remove that. So we're not gonna have like, I don't know what this is. Maybe this is like, no, this isn't the actual terminal, right? Because we do have an actual terminal. File tabs, preview, transpile code. Yeah, well, we have a console. Yeah, but I don't think we actually have, let's just comment it out for now. I have no idea what this is. I guess this is but should show std out. What is this specifically? Part of loading the preview? And environment here is like timeout. Yeah, this should rather be. Yeah, I don't think we really care about environment here. Let's just remove that. Couldn't connect to server. Yeah, you see this? It's like Okay, I guess we can keep this. But then use Sandpack preview progress. Oh my god, everything's like an option here. It makes me... Or undefined? Preview Sandpack N from CodeSandbox Sandpack environment. And this is using, wait, listen, so we're not gonna have that one. So this is like, yeah, so, okay, this one's interesting because this is like super simplified now. Preview progress. Okay, so what we can do here, preview, yeah, I'm not sure why this is not the structure. Why are you complaining? Oh. Yeah, I don't think this makes sense. There we go. So if preview status equals, oh, sorry, current status is ready, then it's ready. Loading message, and then we're gonna have not this thing, we're gonna have the preview and loading message. That's a string. Oh, so it's not actually, okay, I guess we can just show the last message then. Okay, cool. So what we're gonna do here instead, we're gonna subscribe to, so I'm gonna keep this thing to do implement this stuff in the environment. And then we're rather gonna do preview on status change, status. And I guess we only want to do this if it's ready, return. So if we're not ready, we're basically gonna say set loading message. This is going to be super simple. Well, okay, so switch on the status current case. Not sure what we're going to do on error, but loading case ready. If timeout. Set loading message null. But that's not enough, right? That's weird. So this timeout, this should rather be... Why do we have a timeout here? Because this is just for the message. What about the actual timeout? Yeah, I think we need to oh my god. Yeah, we just need another to do implement timeout in the environment. So this would rather be when you fire up the preview. We're gonna have and then like I guess we want set loading message, but we need to put it into an error state as well. So this is also kind of weird. Maybe we don't actually need this. Because we already have the preview here, right? And this is gonna reconcile forking. Oh my god. There's a string check on includes here. Loading overlay state. And not is forking. What is all this stuff? So forking is a specific state of the environment. So that should definitely not be here. To do forking is status of the environment. Yeah, by the way, we have the use environment thing. So this is gonna have oh, this is gonna be interesting because how are we gonna do this? Use environment. Oh, fudge. But this is a promise of the environment. But we want to have the same kind of subscription here. Dag nugget. So we don't actually want to... fuck. We don't want to expose the actual promise here because we need to subscribe to status changes so that the context updates whenever the status changes for the environment. So that means we actually need... Oh, okay. I'm losing my... So here we have load environment. Purge. So we do need what are we gonna do here? It seemed like a good idea, but now I'm not so sure. So we do need to asynchronously load up the environment. And while we're doing that, so I'm kind of thinking like loading the actual environment is partially just loading like the actual environment files, the runtime code. But another thing is actually loading up the environment. Like a VM needs to actually start. And then there can be like different progress events related to that. But those are separate. So there's an initial async thing happening, and then there are progress events. So what I think is that the Sandpack provider needs to be partially a suspense boundary where we actually load up the environment runtime. And then but it kind of sucks that we have that suspense boundary, and then we have a different place where we set the, well, I guess we, okay, I think I know what we can do. So first of all, we need to have a function Sandpack environment loader, and then function Sandpack environment provider. Yeah. So first of all, we're gonna take in all these. I also dislike doing this. Sorry about that. Let's see. So we need to move basically everything here in here first, and then we're gonna return. So this is gonna be a suspense. Oops. Suspense. And we're just gonna pass all the props here. And props here is Sandpack provider props. Cool. And this is just gonna be the load environment. Yeah, and this is like with all the when should it actually write all the files? Should it do that as part of loading the environment? I don't think so. I think this should be part of something else. So the only thing we're going to do here is n is use. So the only thing I worry about here is what actually happens. When I load this promise. Fint då. 2 seconds. Oskar. Men du kan se på den, och så kan du sjekke ut det. Ja, så kan du øve litt med den. Rød, lilla eller blå. Og så må du gå på den, ok? Nå er det fint der ute, så nå må du gå ut. Okay, so what I worry about here is us loading the environment here. Because if I'm then using suspense here, I'm not sure if, I think React is going to keep this reference. Well, we'll figure that out. So now we have the actual environment here. So now this is not a promise anymore. This is the actual Sandpack environment. And that means and the way I understand suspense is that I can actually add. Oh, fuck. But now we have a different problem. God damn it. Because now this environment is the actual class instance, right? So this will actually never change. But I need it to change whenever its status changes. Oh, maybe I should rather just have use environment status, and then that just has to be duplicated. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we can do that. So let's just put this back to where it was. We can still make this plain function though. I think this was old school React. That's what we used to do back in the day, but now we do this. Okay, so we're gonna have something called, we had use preview, right? Yeah, use preview. And then we're gonna have use environment status. The problem is that we still have the status on the environment, but we need to have a subscription to it. Yeah, I just don't like having multiple ways of doing things. So there's like, you really need, so what we want one interface, which is like the internal implementation of the environment. And then we want a public interface for that. But then we need another abstraction, which is React's implementation of that interface. Because you want things to like listen to changes, update the state, everything. How do we want to do this? Like you don't really want class instances to be like exposed. Huh. But I think I can actually create like usync external store here. I think we're going to do that. So n equals, what is it called? Sandpack. N promise. And then we can do use sync external store. We're going to do the same thing. M dot on status change update. And then we're going to say n dot status turn n. I think this works. We're going to do that for now. And then I'm going to reflect a bit more on it. So every time we use environment, we're going to have like a separate using external store for that, but that's fine. And then it works exactly like use preview, which is also fine. Okay, let's get back to it. So, okay, we have all of this stuff we don't really need. Yeah, I don't know what that. Okay, so we have our file explorer, which is fine. And then we have our loading overlay, which we figured out doesn't really make sense. Where was this? Loading overlay. Yeah, or sorry, use Sandpack preview progress didn't make sense. And then we have load overlay state. Oh yeah, now we're back with this thing. Yeah, I have no idea what this is. Loading overlay state. Yeah, and this timeout thing, this is really, this shouldn't be like loading overlay state. This should be like an error with the actual environment, or sorry, this can be an actual preview state, I guess. So there's two, that's interesting. No, I think it should be an error state. So what we're rather gonna do here is in the preview, we're just gonna check, yeah, I have no idea what we're gonna do with a forking. But if the preview has an error, so we don't care about the loading state, we want to know if the previous state is current equals error. Yeah, and we would have to kind of look through the actual text there. But I don't think we even need its overlay state, because it's just listening to the state of the actual. Okay, so it has this fading transient state. But this is like when it's, wait, state is pre-fading? What state is this? Okay, so it goes from loading to pre-fading or hidden. Okay, but I think this is fine. We can have this, but we're rather gonna use, we're not going to use Sandpack here. We're not going to have client ID. Hidden. I'm not sure about this timeout. That's just an error state. Hidden? What is its overlay state? So if it's loading, and then when it's done, but is this overlay something else than the progress? And that's the error state, and then yeah, and then we have progress message. So I guess that's like overlaying. Overlay. Okay. So what I think we want to do here is we want to Sandpack status idle. So basically, if we are external loading, what the hell is external loading? And not external loading? I don't think that makes any sense either. Like, wow, there's so much stuff that's been just added and added and added to this thing. So we need a preview here. So let's import Sandpack and Sandpack preview. So we're getting this preview, and then if the preview dot state, status current equals ready, we're gonna say that it's hidden, or we're gonna say that it's loading. But we're not gonna have this timeout. And then we're gonna change this so that we're gonna say preview.status. And then if preview.status current equals ready, we're just gonna return. And if not, we're gonna return preview.onStatus change status. And then we're going to put that logic. So if status, and this first load, I'm not sure what that is. Well, we're not going to check that. Now we know that if status current equals ready, then we're going to set the state to loading. No, I think we're just gonna like why can it be different? Why okay, I guess okay, I think we're going to change this. We're going to do state, and then we're going to say if state not equals loading, we're going to return. So that the only thing Oh, I think this is fine. Because it might have been, like the point is the previous state might have been that it was in an... yeah, I have no idea. Let's just keep this. And then it's fading. Yeah, because we want to keep this state in sync with... I guess it's like if we change the state of the preview, like it goes back into loading, right? Then we want to... yeah, no idea. I don't know how this works. No idea how this works. Absolutely no idea. So I'm just thinking about like, what if we like restart the preview, or we refresh the preview? I mean, I guess then that preview is going to go back into a loading state, but we don't want to do anything in that case. But if it's suddenly, yeah, I don't know. We have to see this in action. Whatever. Yeah, we can remove that. Still loading. Yeah, the thing I find a bit weird is that we have use overlay state. I think this should only be concerned with the actual like pre-fading and stuff. Because we're mixing these states here where we're checking, or maybe not. Still loading, opacity 1. If it's forking, then it fades. And then we have the actual progress message here, which is like, oh my god. There's so much work to do here. So what's interesting about this is that, oh, and now we don't even use the loading overlay state. Let's say we don't have external loading states. Oh, I guess we need, if it's hidden. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we need, and then still loading. So we need this, but we don't need this forking stuff. And then we have this progress message, but that's like, yeah. I don't like how this is structured because we're saying loading overlay state is hidden, but that means, yeah, it's kind of tricky, I guess, because we have to control this internally, because even though the preview is ready, we want to have this fading mechanism, right? So we can't just hide this component when it's ready. We actually have to hide it when it's hidden. So it does make sense. It's just kind of annoying. But what we can do here is previous status current equals loading. And then we have preview.status progress. And I guess we just want to show the last one. Yeah, let's try that. Okay. So we made a lot of changes here. And I'm worried. I'm super worried. Progress class name? Where did that come from? Oh. Oh, and then cool. Okay, so we do have something that might load now. Okay, let's see if the actual I'm gonna just build this and then we're gonna see if it even loads what we had. Oh, it does. That's nice. Okay, cool. And then we're gonna try in our playground to actually show the preview as well and then see everything break, I guess. So let's bring in the Sandpack preview here. Okay. Oh, sorry, it's on the dashboard. Yeah, Sandpack preview is not defined. Oh. Listen is not a function. Oh, we're using something. Use Sandpack preview progress. Where are we using that? Oh, sorry, I didn't actually build Sandpack React. Okay. What's this? Can undefined or null? Okay, but I guess this is a good thing. Get file parameters. What's this? Use environment. Get parameters. Where's this coming from? Regular export button. Oh, export button. I guess there's some export. Oh. Yeah, open in CodeSandbox button. Okay, we're gonna comment that one as well, because I really just want to see the I really just want to see the preview actually running, and then we have to review everything. Oh, where's this? Use Sandpack preview. Oh, more stuff here. Client ID hidden? What the hell? Loading overlay. Oh yeah. Transpiled code. I'm not sure what this thing does. Okay, we just have to like comment out everything. Oh, come on. Dependencies, progress. Yeah, because it's trying to build all this stuff that I have now broken. Whatever. Just TS ignore the thing. We're gonna revisit this. Okay, cool. Where is this button coming from? Regular export button. Regular export button. Unstyled. Open in CodeSandbox, but I thought I commented out. Installed, open in CodeSandbox. Open in CodeSandbox button, but I didn't use it, did I? Loading. Oh, I guess this is the thing. Or maybe I should just fix it. Okay, no, now we have it. Okay, so what I'm curious about now is, do we even have an iframe here? We do have the iframe. Well, that's nice, but there's nothing in the iframe. So what we're gonna try to do now is move back to our environment and see if we can actually get something running. So we have this static preview. Does it show any messages? Oh no. Oh. What does that mean? HTTPS. Does this even work? So if I go in here, can I like change? Can I change? Oh, don't we have like static here? Quick start. Static. Okay, so it should work. Okay. I'm very afraid now. I have no idea what this stuff means. Where do I even start? where do I even start? How are we going to debug this stuff? Oh yeah, sorry. So we have restart here. I have absolutely no idea where to start debugging this. Though the thing is, this is just internal implementation of the preview. And it's not that like complicated, but I don't understand. We're configuring the iframe. We're setting up listeners. We're running this preview controller. It could be the build as well. Like I changed the build of the, which makes me scared. What the fuck? Creating preview controller. Because I think this should really just work. Oh, wait a minute. Now it worked. Oh, interesting. Oh, sorry. That was weird. So it's trying to get index HTML. Ends with read file content. Yeah, hello world. So why doesn't it show anything? Is it because I need the full HTML? Doc type. I can't remember this. HTML5? No. Please insert a default index HTML content. Accept. Wait. Oh, yeah. Hello world. Oh, but that sucks. It doesn't actually show it. Is that because of some loading state? Oh, yeah. Yeah. We're not emitting status changes. Yeah, so I guess that's the thing we're missing. So we want to make sure that as this preview thing is moving through its, so there's a done thing here. Done? Oh, did I remove that? Type done. Yeah, I'm wondering where this stuff is coming from. So this is compile, but compile happens. But there shouldn't be like a bundler in the static thing. console.log compiling. I think that's what's triggering the actual getting of everything. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just a loading state. We're stuck in a loading state. The question is, when do we... I thought there was supposed to be... I thought we were supposed to get some messages here. No, no messages. So when do we know that it's done doing its thing? Okay, let's just start it in ready and see what happens. Maybe there isn't like any loading state for this thing. Oh, look at that. Hello world. Nice. That's pretty nice. We have it running. Awesome. Huh. What do you know? And okay, that's fine. That's fine. Oh, did I have an... Oh, yeah, I didn't rebuild it. Okay, what's the next step? I think the question is, should we like finish this in the sense that how do we do like navigation and stuff? But what we can try is to play a little bit more with it, because I want to check a couple of things. So first of all, let's add another scripts index.js. So we're gonna run that thing, and then this thing is actually gonna source, yeah, something like that. Oh, look at that. And it even logged out hello world. That's really cool. And it showed up nicely in the file explorer as well. So that's great. Does the collapsing work? Aha, that even works. That's nice. Okay, this is great. I'm not sure what this is though. But that's something else. Okay, so I think we are kind of ready to bring in the code editor. Yeah. So I think we want the full kind of experience working with static. Like we want the code editor. We've cleaned up a lot around like loading, and I think that's the thing. It's like static is quite simple in terms of loading states, but then we can try with we're gonna do the bundler next, which has actual preview loading states. Like it's evaluating dependencies. It's probably gonna send a lot of messages from the iframe. And then but yeah, we're gonna create a code editor first so that we can actually make code changes, like open files and make code changes and so on and so on. But this is awesome. I'm getting a bit hungry, so I'm not sure if I'm ready to dive more into this currently. So I think this is fine for now. To do. Oops. Cool. But yeah, this is really cool that we actually got that running. Yeah. Yeah, and this loading state, we have to make that a bit prettier, but awesome. Good job. But yeah, so I'm not sure if I'm able to stream anymore today. But tomorrow morning, I'm gonna get straight into Sandpack stuff, because I'm rather gonna work on that family app and MobX Lite during the Easter holidays. So I kind of have that app running, hopefully. And then after Easter, we can rather do a review of that app and then evaluate if we're gonna do anything with this MobX Lite thing. Cool. That's it. Okay, thanks for following along, and have a great rest of your Sunday, and then we'll speak soon.